Hi, this is the first Q&A video that we have, and this Q&A session is for the additional replacement class for week 7 public holiday. So up to 9th of May, Saturday, I have received 3 questions, which I will respond to these 3 questions in this video. Okay, the first question is that, can you please run through supplementary questions, which is the Lab 5, Task 3S, 4S, 5S, and exam type question 235 for Lab 5, Week 6, Lab file. Okay, I have tried to organize these questions according to different technique that you will be using to develop for loop and while loop, and record one video for each of them. I did not prepare the walkthrough of all 6 questions. I left out one question so that after you go through the 5 videos for 5 of these questions, you can try for yourself to develop the program for the other question. Let me show you where do you get the video. Okay, this is the Computer Lab forum. It is the same for any Computer Lab session. If you go to step 0, you will see this third point that contains a link to the video explanation playlist. So this playlist contains the video of various explanations that I have conducted during the Zoom session. The 5 questions that was raised in the question that we have seen just now is this question: Lab 5 task 3S, Lab 5 task 5S, Lab 5 task 4S, Lab 5 exam question 3, and Lab 5 exam question 2. So as you can see, Lab 5 task 3S, I have indicated in the title that this is a question that involves a simple while loop, and Lab 5 task 5S is a question that involves advanced while loop. So you can take a look at this video according to your own interests. And inside this video, I am explaining how do you develop the program, which include how to develop the while loop and for loop from scratch. And I have indicated in the title different techniques that you can use to develop different type of loop. So you can take a look at some of this video at your own time. After that, you can try by yourself the other question that I did not provide the explanation. If you do have any question after looking at this video, you can continue to use the Google form to ask question. Alternatively, you can also use the Computer Lab forum to ask question. Okay, so that is my response for this first question. Second question is about how do we develop the code in the function file for Lab 6 Task 1. Okay, this is Lab 6 Task 1. I will not discuss how to develop the code as the deadline for this Lab 6 is not over yet, but I will provide some guidelines what this question asks you to do. Okay, you have used the max function in MATLAB, and this question asks you to write your own max function, which the input is a vector and the output is the maximum value as well as the index, which is the position of the maximum value. So that's what this question asks you to do. And second part of this question asks you to develop another function where X is a 2-dimension matrix. So you need to go through all the elements in the 1-dimension vector or the 2-dimension matrix and identify what is the maximum value. See, once you know what is the maximum value, you will also be able to obtain the position of the maximum value. If you have no idea how to start to develop the program, you can start with a manual analysis and try to look into how would you do this if you are working on this problem on a piece of paper using a pen. You can refer to the Lab 5 exam question 2, which is video I, because the approach that I have discussed in this video is applicable to Lab 6 task 1. If you go through the video first and come back to this question, you will be able to use the same approach that I used in the video to develop these two function file, my max and my max2. So that is the explanation about what this question expect you to do. Let's look at the third question, which is also the last question. For lab 6 task 5, I do not really get how to create a loop that finds the location of the distribution center. So in this task 5, let me use the PDF file to explain to you what exactly we are doing in this question. And after that, I will point you to one of the video in the playlist that uses a similar approach to develop the solution. Okay, this is task 5. If you have not go through this question yet, you can pause the video and read all this information here first. After that, you can continue to watch the video. Assuming that you have go through all the information given in this question, then you will be able to see that what this question asks us to do is to identify the location of the distribution center. So that means in this area of 0 to 30, we need to identify which location should I build the distribution center so that the distance from the distribution center to all 6 customers will be the minimum. So let's take one location as an example. If I look at location 11, assuming this is location 11, okay? So what I would do is I will calculate the delivery cost from this station to all 6 customers. And the question asks us to assume that the distance is the straight line distance, and the question have also give us the equation to calculate the weekly cost. So we would use this information. And what it means is that if this is the distribution center, then the straight line distance from the distribution center until the first customer, so this is the first distance that we will consider, and the second distance that we will consider, the third distance that we will consider, the fourth distance that we will consider, the fifth distance that we will consider, and the sixth distance that we will consider. So just bear with me with this not so straight line, assuming they are all straight line, okay? So these are the 6 straight line distance from this particular location to all 6 customers. And what we need to calculate is the weekly cost based on this equation, which involve the distance d as well as the volume. And the volume is given in this table. After you calculate the cost for each one of these paths from customer 1 to customer 6, you can sum them up and then you will get the total weekly cost if the distribution center is at this location 11. After that, you will try another location. If the distribution center is located at a location 12, for example, what would be the total cost? And you will run through all the possible location from 0 to 30, and based on all the total cost that you have calculated, identify which location gives you the minimum cost. So that is what the question asks you to do. I hope that this explanation helps you to understand the situation better. If you still don't get a clear idea on how to write the loop, what you should do next is just pick 1 or 2 location, say 11, 12, and maybe 2, 1, and try to do a manual hand calculation to identify what would you do if you are going to work on this problem on paper and pen. And based on these 2 to 3 or maybe 4 location that you perform manual calculation, you can analyze the pattern. With that, you will be able to identify what are the pattern that is repeating in your calculation. That means those patterns supposed to be inside the loop. If you notice any calculation that is out of the pattern, that means those calculations should be carried out outside of the loop, which is most likely will be the initialization part. These few information that I have explained so far should give you some idea on how to get started with developing the program for this question. And next, I will point you to a video that is related to this question. In this case, because the location or the map is a 2-dimension matrix, therefore you can take a look at video I, which involve how to develop a nested loop. So you can look at this part of the video to get some idea on how to develop a nested loop from scratch, and then you can use the same approach to develop the program for lab 6 task 5. Okay, and another video that could be relevant as well is video F. Video F is explanation on how to develop the program for lab 5 task 5. The useful part of this video for lab 6 task 5 is the manual analysis that I explained for both part A and part B in lab 5 task 5. So take a look at how do I do the manual analysis in lab 5 task 5 for part A function file and part B M file, and then you can use the same pattern or the same approach to perform the manual analysis for lab 6 task 5. So this is a few guidelines that you can consider to help you to develop the program for lab 6 task 5. Okay, that's all for this video. I have received only 3 questions, and we will see if I receive any more questions on 10th of May. And after that, I will prepare another video to respond to the question asked on 10th of May. Before I end this video, I would like to highlight to you that in the Q&A form that I use for the replacement class, I have added some suggestion on what you might want to ask. So if you have any doubts on these methods, feel free to use this Q&A form to ask your question, and I will respond them in the next video. Okay, so I will see you again in the next video.